the governors all across the United States issued lockdown orders, except some states, and some of them are locking up again and locking down the country, issuing COVID restrictions. So they did it. They did it back in spring, and they did a little bit of ease up in the summer. Now they're back at it again. So what's gonna be happening? What are we doing? As you guys noticed, the name of this episode is Lockdown 2.0. But is this gonna be way different than what we had in March? And I kind of looked at this and evaluated what's happening. Let's say for the state where I'm at, state of Washington, it is actually different. It is different from different perspectives. And let me tell you the perspectives I see, how it's going to be different for business owners, how it's going to be different for people in general, and what to expect. Well, the good news is right now, at least we have some sort of definition as far as for how long the restriction is going to be in place. Back in March, we didn't have that. Okay, so at least now in the state of Washington, it's until December 14th, at least. Okay, back then we didn't have that. It was like indefinite. Okay, so also we know what to expect from those lockdowns. When this thing happened in March, everybody went into the panic mode and didn't know what's going to happen and didn't know what to expect. Now, since we've been there before, we kind of know how to play it, what to do about it, and how to actually not only stay alive, but stay in business. So that's a good thing because we already know. All right. Third is that since we already been in this place before, we know how to run businesses and we know how to actually remain in business. And most importantly, we already adjusted, made changes, and so it's not going to be as critical for us right now. And also, a lot of businesses adjusted. Anywhere you go, people already, they have installed the barriers, they've installed the plexiglass, they've installed, set up the curbside pickup and delivery. They everything has. Basically, the infrastructure is already there. It's established. So I anticipate this lockdown to be less painful than what it was back in March. Okay. Because right now people are gonna be, at least they know what it's gonna be like, and how to navigate through these waters, through this funky waters. So what our governors and the pandemic put us in place. Also, there's a really good news. The really good news, guys, is that 2 very promising vaccines are on the horizon. So marketers know that. Short term, yeah, it may not be that pretty right now because we cannot go to the restaurant for sit in, we cannot go to the bar, have a drink, or we cannot, go and congregate in big numbers for holidays or in the department store or grocery store. But that's the short thing, vision of it. Long-term goal, vaccine is in the horizon. So from what I've read, they anticipate the vaccine to be out probably for the emergency use authorization by the end of the year. So that's going to be next month, less than 30 days out probably. And what happens is, and for the general population, they expect people to be vaccinated, I guess, sometime around January, February, March. So having said that, the good news is there is light at the end of the tunnel for your normal activities, normal life resuming, socializing, seeing grandma, and hopefully seeing less people die from COVID. For the business people, and this is podcast specifically designed for the business people, the great news is that you've already adjusted, you've been there, and what's going to happen, and your consumer knows that. Your consumer knows there's confidence. Your consumers know that you've been working with them throughout the pandemic. They know your brand, and it's frankly easier right now for you to do business without even leaving your house, because right now a lot of companies switch to working from home, they switch to working online, and they are basically even hire people online to work for them. I personally hired people right now, that work for our company. They actually, I mean, we found them online and we interviewed them on Zoom, and they're working for us right now. So things are actually moving. We provided jobs to people, by working remotely. So it's very doable, and that's great because that reduces the number of unemployed people, and we're glad to contribute to that. Having said that, sure, there's still gonna be losers in the industry, and as far as losers, not because they chose to be losers, but because there's gonna be a risk shift of priorities. Obviously, some industries are left out, like the travel industry, hospitality industry, or let's say like entertainment industries. They are pretty much in the doom and gloom. However, I see that right now travel still picks up. People are still traveling with all the restrictions, and airline industries did implement changes that are helping them to stay afloat. Mask wearing, the sanitizing. So overall, it's not like this is a complete switch off the lockdown 2.0 like what we had in March, but this is more of like a dimmer dialed down. And dial down with us being ready for it and us being actually already adjusted to this. So this is good news. If your business is actually in the industry that doesn't depend on face-to-face communication or face-to-face meetings, you can have them on Zoom, you can have them on, obviously Skype or any kind of online communications. You are not gonna be suffering, and frankly, you will be able to even thrive. Okay. Just wanted to announce we have a sponsor here, and I just want to give a shout out. If you're guys looking to hire a virtual assistant, or you want to have somebody work for you remotely, and you don't want to pay your state minimum wage is, let's say you are right now in a state where minimum wage, like it's going to be $15 an hour, some states, you want to pay less, you can look into hiring a virtual assistant. That person will work remotely for you from the comfort of their home, and you will pay way less than you'll be paying, somebody working for you in-house. Look into VirtuDesk. VirtuDesk is a virtual assistant company that provides virtual assistants and who are located in the Philippines, and they can provide service for you. They speak perfect English. They actually train. They have infrastructure to work for you, and they will set up to be part of your team. So go to myvirtudesk.com or Google VirtuDesk to find out more about the company or about the services. All right. So having said that, just wanted to again specifically talk to people in the industry that are not going to be affected by COVID probably as much as people in the face-to-face industry. Let's talk about my favorite industry, real estate folks, real estate industry, mortgage professionals, insurance people. All right. As you guys know, also I work at a brokerage, and a brokerage, real estate brokerage, we have real estate agents who've been selling homes crazy this year. And it's funny to say that, the pandemic had people's priorities shifted. People actually, either upgrading their, houses, or they're downgrading, they're moving, they actually changing locations. So that's awesome. That's great, because that's just called basically moving of the economy. All right, so you guys gonna be okay. Don't panic. You'll be fine. And I know a lot of you have been busy, and I speak with agents all across the United States, and everybody's busy, and that's a good indicator for the economy. So again, this lockdown 2.0 is different than what we had back in March, and obviously, as you guys see, it's not going to be as painful. So don't listen to the media. Don't listen to folks telling you otherwise. Analyze things for yourself. Okay. Having said that, I wish everybody a great day, and please subscribe to my podcast. And as you guys know, we are in the review economy. Review economy, which means your business depends heavily on reviews. Reviews are generated by your customers. When customers love your product, they love your service, they go to Google, they go to Facebook, they write a review about you. They put a review about who you are, about what your service is. And the review economy is basically the fundamental mover of the commerce right now. now, especially during the time of pandemic and during when businesses shifted to online platforms. You know, if you're not on Google, if you're not on Facebook, if you don't have a review, you're basically irrelevant. So whenever, anytime consumer looks up your product or sees your product, first thing they're going to go Google, they're going to go to Facebook, your Facebook page, and see the reviews your customers write about you. So make sure you have great reviews. Make sure you reach out to your customers. Make sure you actually ask your customers for a review. So any kind of business you're in, anytime you speak with your customers, you check with them, you make sure that actually if they're happy, ask them, hey, do you mind writing a quick review? Make it easy for them as well to do that. Send them a link. Say, hey, listen, let me just text you a link very quick where you can write a review about my company if you're happy, and post it. It's going to be posted on all the platforms. There are a couple of companies, I'm not going to mention yet them because they're not sponsoring us, but there are a couple of companies that actually can automate your reviews from any platform, Google, Facebook, Instagram, whatever customers write a review about you, it can automate them and they're going to be appearing on your website. So if you have a great website, customers go to your website, check out your product. They're also going to see customers' reviews from real people. That's very important. Also, video reviews. I would recommend to actually get, if you have a happy customer, say, hey, listen, I really, you the fact that you love our service. Could you please record a quick video on your phone, send it to me very quick, and I will make sure it's being posted on our social media and on our, on the website. Because again, guys, review economy is real, and if you don't have that, it's going to be really hard to remain in business without it. So make sure you get that. I always tell it to the real estate agents, because you guys, your own brand, regardless what company you hang your license with, you are your own brand, and it's very important to make sure that you have customers' reviews not only on Zillow but on other platforms as well, where people can actually find you. It's called social proof, where actually the potential consumers can see what your actual consumers wrote about you. Okay, so review economy, and that's real. Make sure it's being done. So that will help you actually in your business right now during lockdown 2.0, because people are not as panicked right now as they used to be back in March. Okay, so that's what I keep telling, and that's what I see happening. So I'm very optimistic about this this time. Yes, I know it sucks. I know it's not convenient. However, there's a reason for this, and we all should be understanding of the reasons for it. But at the same time, think of it from the business perspective. And the good news is that consumer not as panicked as they used to be. I mean, hopefully there's some TP left at Costco though, but you never know. So anyway, guys, just wanted to say that on a quick note and wrap it up. But if you like my podcast, please make sure to subscribe. Please make sure to follow on Instagram, social media, on Facebook. And if you have any questions, please feel free to write them in the chat. I'll be happy to answer them. We're gonna have a new segment called Mailbag, where we looking at the your questions pulled from the mailbag. We're gonna do it next week and answer them in real time. Meanwhile, make sure to subscribe. Make sure to follow on Instagram, on Facebook, and YouTube. Make sure to put that like on the YouTube, or dislike for what matter if you don't like it. But we need it, because again, we are in a review economy. We'd like to be actually reviewed. Either like or dislike is awful. I'm sorry. This is going to be amazing for us either way. And again, wishing you happy upcoming holidays, happy upcoming Thanksgiving, and we